Taryn Manning just put out a couple of now deleted videos on her Instagram defending her friend Danny Masterson after his conviction for grape. And I don't know why she deleted them. It's interesting that she deleted them, but she hasn't exactly backed down. She's still posting about it, and she also has called out Ashton Kutcher for outing her in the 2000s as bisexual while she was on Punk'd.
I mean, that would have been a bigger deal back then.
I suppose so, but she still really holds that grudge against him. Let's play the videos. Okay. She's definitely not in a great state of mind. I'll say that.
Are we going to just watch the original one here from her, from page 6?
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's also the YouTube one.
It's like one of those things where it's like, since I've already been like humiliated and you humiliated somebody that I actually really loved and cared for, I was just having a bad day. And also I have a lisp. I'm 80% deaf. And so I've actually come a really long way with my speech impediment. So for everybody that thinks I'm on drugs or drunk, no, I just actually, when I get relaxed or when I'm not like on the silver screen, I can tend to fall back into my tendencies, which is a little bit of a lisp. But at this point, everyone's humiliated me so bad that I'm all the way in for everything that I've always stood for, that I was hiding secretly, that there's no human on this planet that doesn't deserve to have the best life and to be happy and free, because you are made in the image of the good Lord.
Go
made
off.
perfectly just the way you are. And the fact that people want to just tear us all down, like even like with my friend Danny going to prison for 30 years. Yeah, he made a mistake, but everyone just keep going, just keep crucifying him as if he's not already suffering. He gets it. He got it. Leave him alone. Leave me alone. Leave people alone. Who are you? Who are you? What did you do today to change the world, huh? Since you have so many opinions, what did you do to change the world, huh? People like you. People like me. Yeah.
The lisp is not what makes her seem drunk.
That and the fact that she listens to Oliver Anthony.
So
very
no
clearly.
one in the comments of that video seemed to recognize the Oliver Anthony reference.
I have, like, the thing is,
But
I have no,
outside the
I
matrix
never
for
thought of
them.
her as having a lisp. I just thought that she had a unique voice, and I always thought it worked for her. As an actress,
Okay.
it helped her stand out.
I'll believe that she naturally talks like this, but I don't think... I mean, she's very
always talked that
vehemently
way.
denying that she's doing any drugs, and I don't believe that.
I always thought
I'm
she used
skeptical.
I also
I
love
didn't know
how
she was deaf.
the defense of a convicted R wordist is now the same defense you give to a guy who had some mean tweets back in the day.
Yeah, there's some skewed priorities and
calls
morals
her
there.
Oliver
But
Anthony.
the other video was also from her Instagram. I sent you the link if you need it.
It's the one...
She's like yelling at her own mirror.
Let's do this thing. So what's going on? So what did I say? Oh, well, what I said is not exactly published. What I said was that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher blame shifted onto Danny Masterson's mother, saying she made us write the letter. She made us. How rude to blame the mother. What? She put your hand to the paper and made you do it?
It's a fair point.
What if that we remember him as our friend? What if that we didn't know that he had this tendency inside of him? What if we remember the history of our friend, that's a good man? Huh? Is it wrong to know that's our friend and that's somebody that is not just all bad and not all good, as you're not all bad and you're not all good? So you're gonna like go on Daily Mail and go in all these places? No. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it
She deleted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have the full version. It's a somewhat good, fair message, just not the best messenger for it. You know, not the best delivery. And also, she posted a Notes app screenshot on her Instagram story calling out Ashton Kutcher. She said, "Ashton Kutcher will never know the implications of his actions. Ruined my family, but at least Punk'd made money. I should have some from the free content you got on the carpet. Seriously can't stand either of you." She referenced him treating someone badly on an airplane ride years ago. I don't know about that. And said, "Mila, you are not a good human."
Yeah. Somebody also in the chat mentioned, is this Britney Spears? Well, she was in a movie with
No,
Britney
we were
Spears.
just saying
She was in Crossroads with Britney
there
Spears.
needs to be a Taryn Manning and Britney Spears reality show.
Yeah.
Because these women, they would make a perfect dramatic duo. They're at similar stages in their lives. I think it would be incredible content. I do.
What would it be called?
Crossroads.
It would have to be called
Crossroads. It would have to be Crossroads.
It's I would watch it.
You could say they're both at a crossroads in their lives.
They absolutely are. It was a bigger deal back then to out someone for being bisexual back in the early 2000s than it would be. Like, imagine doing a show about that. Hollywood is actually lame enough to do that now, like to like out somebody for being bi. Because it happened with Rebel Wilson. When they outed Rebel Wilson, and it's like in the argument.
That was like a twisted story.
But people were like, they're like, why do you care? No one cares anymore. I was like, because it's her right to not talk about it if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to tell you who she sleeps with. In fact, I'm a lot happier with people not telling me who they sleep with these days, since how everybody seems to want to talk about it.
A journalist had a paparazzi photo of her at dinner with her girlfriend and said, like, reached out to her for comment before he released an article about it. And then she interpreted that as blackmail.
Yeah.
Which,
well, no, because in the letter he said, like, if you do not respond, I will be releasing the information at this time on this day. Which
that's absolutely shady journalist
it comes off, well, yeah, but it comes off a little blackmailing. I'm just saying, it's got a tinge of blackmail. It's got a hint of blackmail.
Blackmail is just part of the journalist's career, you know. Can't really
by the way, guys, I put a very important poll up today. I forgot to mention it earlier. I asked, when you're making cereal, when you're having cereal, milk first, then cereal, or cereal first and then milk?
Why is this even a question? Like, everyone already knows the answer.
Cereal first.
7% say you're wrong. 7%.
Those 7% are trolling. They are not telling the truth.
No, my cousin one time, like, she poured the milk first and then the cereal, and we were all like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, what does it matter? It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
You need equal milk distribution.
You go to eat a steak and you put the steak sauce in the bottom of the pan, you know, of the plate.
You take a spoonful of the steak sauce first, and then you like, slice a piece of the meat and eat it.
That'd be great. But
I think she's really just voicing the opinion of Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis here. They're pretending to support victims, and they're pretending that they regret writing these letters. They just regret getting caught writing the letters. They do support him. They're biased toward him because of their friendship, which is understandable. But I mean, I guess Taryn Manning is the only person unhinged enough to really admit that online in front of everyone.
I respect her for that.
But he did more than make a mistake, girl.
Yeah,
she phrased it like she phrased it like he dropped some naughty words on the internet.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, people learn from their mistakes. It's like, and they do.
People like me,
but like
people like you.
You would have been better off making that argument in today's current culture. You'd have been better off making that argument for a dude who murdered someone than a dude who R-worded two women.
Yeah.
Like,
in a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Like murdered someone
one time.
It is fair to point out. It was a
one-time thing, like Ashton Kutcher, allegedly.
It is fair to point out if like people are just like cool with Mike Tyson. Nobody seems to care that Mike Tyson went to jail for.
It's selective. If someone is popular, people just memory hold whatever they did wrong.
So that was Danny Masterson's problem. He doesn't have a good uppercut
Not likable
or 1-2
enough.
punch. Yeah,
he doesn't get a face tattoo. And learn how to fight in prison.
How would Danny Masterson's mother have had leverage to force Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher to write
guilt? It's the power of old lady guilt, where she says, "Are you gonna let my son go to jail without speaking your piece?" And she put her hands on her hips like this, and she's got like a floral dress that goes all the way to the floor, and like the cap.
She's got a cane. She can barely walk.
I'm going to die without seeing my son again. And they're like, maybe that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
They could have said no.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And they got to own it, you know?
Well, I mean, they like, I don't know if they believed that those things weren't going to come out, but they were always going to come out. Also, Taryn Manning has been criticizing the creators of Orange is the New Black because in the show, she had a storyline in which her character gets R-worded by a prison guard, by a corrections officer. And then basically what her complaint was, it wasn't that she had to do that. The complaint was that she then had to go do press about the show in which people were like making her out to be like a spokesperson for R-word, which she called traumatizing.
This is from another deleted post. She said, on Orange is the New Black, which most people know me for, thinking that's my only project, it was written that I was R-worded. I was R-worded on the show, remember? No one ever told me that when I had to hit the press, the amount of the wall I would be up against. So what was it like to be R-worded on the show? The most divisive, pervasive topic on the planet, and I had to stand up and be the spokesperson for rape. That's abusive to me. Nobody ever told me what I would be up against. You just dropped that on me in that season. You just dropped it on me. And, oh, she's going to get R-worded. You're just going to have to deal with it in the press. How abusive that was. I don't know. Like,
first of all, no writer in the world, it's not their job to think about how the press is going to respond. Like Disney's doing this now when they're writing characters and they're race swapping, and they're like, by the way, you're going to be abused by the public when we do this.
Well, aren't they kind of concerned about what the public will think when they're doing all that stuff and they're race swapping and everything?
Yeah, but they do it because they love the press. Like in this case, she's saying that they didn't think about it at all, and then the access media was asking her questions about it.
I think she's overthinking the question.
Yeah.
They're asking her, what was it like to act in that scene?
Yeah.
Like, what was the experience of simulating something like that for a show? And I didn't watch it, so I don't know how graphic it was. Yeah. Like, you're speaking on that experience, not the experience of it actually happening to you. So
yeah, that's true. Nobody forced her to be or asked her to be a spokesperson.
Yeah, it's just kind of bizarre. And maybe she's coping because she didn't want to film that scene in the first place. She's just mad that people brought it up afterwards.
Yeah.
Like that other co-star of hers that was complaining, you know, about the writer's strike, or no, the actor's strike, like not getting paid enough in residuals for the show. Like, I showed my tits on that show. You should be paying me for every cent. And it's like, it sounds like you regret showing your tits on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's your problem if you regret that. Like, so the trade-off didn't end up being worth it.
Right.
Sounds like you just had bad judgment and you didn't feel comfortable filming that scene, but you did it because you know, let your integrity fall to the wayside. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because, again, people don't want to admit it, but, you know, they're uncomfortable simulating sex on camera, and they're uncomfortable with nudity, like going nude on camera. That's an uncomfortable thing to do.
Unless you get paid enough for it. I did see a post the other day. Somebody was referring to this one where some porn star was like wondering why Hollywood is investing all this money in intimacy coordinators when they could just hire me and my friends to do it. And it's like oh, and they would get the real thing rather than.
They already kind of are, because Chloe Cherry, who was in Euphoria, was found for the show, like scouted for the show through her porn, because Sam Levinson is a disgusting pervert.
Porn actors have been like background characters or secondary characters and they've done B movies for as long as the industry's been around.
Why? Because they're known to be good actors?
Would they be able to strike?
I don't think.
Is that possible?
I'm guessing if any industry is all about union busting, I'm sure it's porn. They love to bust unions, I'm sure. But yeah, so like, what do you think about it? Like, we live in a culture now where you kind of have to be a little bit unhinged to stand up for something like she's standing up for her friend who was convicted of doing something horrible, and people are like, you kind of have to be a little mistake. You have to be a little nutty and off the rocker to be able to, because
Which she clearly is.
Yeah,
but she's saying what the rest of his Hollywood buddies are thinking.
Yeah,
that's my point. Like, she just has the bravery of being on whatever substances she's on.
Yeah,
that allows her to post about it.
And I can kind of sympathize, I guess. I mean, if she dated him for a while, right? So she's probably processing a lot of this.
Did they date?
Like someone, I thought that was why, like how she knew him.
Did they date, or
I don't know. I don't know if they dated.
Or she's just,
I think they were just friends.
Yeah.
In the
it could be, it's someone that she cared about a lot, and she's finding out about these allegations, and he's getting convicted. So it makes it seem more likely that, maybe she supported him, and it seems more likely now that it was true. So this could be just her processing the whole situation where it's tragic from like every end.
Like, is it easier to just pretend that your friend was who you thought they were rather than confront reality? Probably.
Yeah, and she doesn't really address that, though. Does she ever say, like, if she thinks he actually did it or not?
He made a mistake. That's all she said about it. Like, maybe she thinks that this was a wrongful conviction. She didn't go that far.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's over with now. There's no relitigating it.
Right.
He might have some really good lawyers to give him a light sentence, though, to appeal.
Oh, like I don't know, but I don't think he's calling her as a character witness. I'm guessing she would do more harm than good if she was on the stand. And she's like,
please stop.
Interestingly, she was not asked to write a character letter for him.
Well, that's why she's really mad.
She's like, why didn't you ask me? Like, I would have stood by you.
It's funny because people keep making fun of she was saying that people were making fun of the way she talks. I always liked the way she talks. I thought it set her apart from all the people she acted with. She had a unique cadence, a unique voice.
Yeah.
So don't make fun of her for her voice. Her voice is fine. And make Crossroads 2 Electric Boogaloo while you're at it. I want to see the sequel to Crossroads with Britney Spears and her. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.